Well, we hope we'll have no such problems with our show here. We're gonna.
No,
try
it's getting better, you know.
I see. Yeah, I think you're right. I sense a change in the times and an ability to discuss things more openly on TV and movies.
I think we're going
magazines.
through a very interesting transition. First, there was Burl, slapstick, out comedy. Just a moment for sick comedy, by the way. As I said, there was nothing new. Time magazine grouped about 4 or 5 sick comics. Let's negate that immediately. Mortzall, brilliant, political, stand-up, stark monologist. Nothing sick about him, or he would have never done a Revlon spec. Shelley Berman, real Hamish, down-home humor, forget him. Jonathan Winters. Yeah, Jonathan's... yeah, he's
sick.
beautiful. He's a little sick, yeah, I take him. In fact, they're taking me away soon. Jonathan finked on me. That's how he got out. He turned into nuts. And that's what the guy said. If I turn in 4 nuts, I can stay on the street. But Lou Costello, there's a good comedian. You know, well-liked, well-loved comic. And the era that's criticizing the sick comic today, which, believe me, I feel no hostility towards any reviewer that writes me, because I realize that the reviewer has to take a side, one man's opinion, and for him to knock makes a very interesting column. So I'm not drugged with any people who put down sick comedy, you know, because I don't do any sick comedy, you know, but it's a commercial tag that's happened now. The same as Calypso, which never was. Let's see, Lou Costello. Let me think of a joke that Costello would do. You'd never think of Lou Costello as a sick comic, would you?
No, family type home entertainment.
All right. Lou Costello used to do a joke. My wife died last night. Now, I would never move into that area at all in humor. I would never... A comedy is tragedy plus time. That's a little too close. All right, that's sicko one. His wife died last night. He's humoring. When she, on her deathbed, she said, when I die, if you cheat on me, I'll dig my way out of my grave and haunt you, which is a pretty macabre situation we're building. The joke, the punchline, I buried her face down, let her dig. That's sick.
Yeah,
that's very sicko.
Well,
wife dead, crawling through the grave. You know.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah, the hasty heart.
Well, it's been suggested, and I think there's something to it, that more than you're really operating in sick areas, it is society itself that maybe has some problems, and you kind of throw a little light on some of them.
Yeah. Then again, I'd like to, you know, I'd love to be the martyr, you know, and say, yeah, that's right, a society's sick. And, you know, I'm straightening out a lot of societal problems. But I realize that I'm society, you know. It's never they. Your society, you know. And it's like, integration to me is a big hang-up. You know, I capsule it very quickly. I don't knock anybody who's not an out-and-out integration. It's just the way I look at it very simply. It's just from a moral aspect. If you're not an out-and-out integrationist, naturally you're an atheist, because Christ and Moses were teachers. And if you keep anybody out of school for 5 minutes, you're against every Christ-like concept, so that you're an atheist. Now, from a safety factor, the missiles, Polaris, Vanguard, Atlas are made from academic background, physics. You know, there's no such thing as give them a few dollars, they'll fix it. It doesn't work that way, you know. So anyone who is not an out-and-out integrationist is just a communist, pro-communist, you know. So that bugs me. But I never get that. I'm just giving you a bill now. I never get that philosophical with it on the floor without getting humorous. Whereas I've watched a lot of nighttime shows where they've got 4 or 5 colored people and 3 or 4 au faits, and they get heavy with it. It gets too profound. They just start discussing Porgy and Bess, which I'll give you quick for a moment. Porgy and Bess, Otto Preminger, forget him. He's a rank amateur. But as far as Porgy and Bess being a Jim Crow Uncle Tom picture, not so, because Porgy and Bess, the Spays at that time were funky and down home, you know, and he painted them just that way. Now, if you're going to get on a scene with colored people and not, and if you get too patronizing, then as Ralph Ellison says, it becomes the invisible man. You don't really treat them as people. You know, if, in other words, I'm Jewish, I don't resent Shylock in Shakespeare, you know. So, but on the floor, I'm a bug with integration, so I'll attack it humorously, and I'll go to Little Rock and I'll say that Little Rock has solved the situation. They've done it through legislation. If the colored people can pass the literacy test, they get the vote, and it's very fair. Well, let's see now, line all the colored people up here, and if they pass the test, they can get the vote here. It's very easy, just sign your name. There's this ballpoint pen, this piece of wax paper, and just sign it.